My friends, gas prices are skyrocketing after Putin declares that Russia will only accept rubles as payment for their gas, especially from unfriendly countries in retaliation against sanctions. Has Russia just killed the petrodollar? Hey guys, gals, and pals, Mr. Obvious here. And today, we need to talk about gas prices and what is happening in Russia right now in regards to Russia basically going back on the gold standard and demanding that if you want to buy Russian oil, if you want Russian gas, you have to pay in Russia's currency, the ruble. This is effectively a massive blow against the West. And in other news, the Kremlin refuses to rule out using nukes. US slams the dangerous rhetoric after Putin's spokesman said that Russia would use the weapons to see off an existential threat. Things are heating up really bad right now. You've got the Kremlin saying that they will use nukes if Russia faces an existential threat. But more importantly, and perhaps the most important story going on right now, Russia is reorganizing its finances, going back on the gold standard, and saying that you must hold rubles and buy Russian gasoline in Russian currency. Because of this, gas prices are going sky high, especially for the British and in Europe, but it will also have far-reaching consequences for Americans. In fact, many Americans are crying out for gas relief, with some Democrats pushing for a $300 a month stimulus check to help Americans struggling to pay for sky-high gas, with 73% of voters saying they want tax breaks for gasoline. We're going to talk about this, folks, and more, but before we do, remember to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for updates for future content, and if you like this channel and you like these videos, please share them with your family and friends and online. And now, a word from our sponsor. Introducing Weeble. Weeble is a trading app where you can buy and sell cryptocurrency and stocks. Open a Weeble account today, download the app, and deposit any amount of money, and you will receive 5 free stocks worth up to $9,600. The minimum is like 27 bucks, so really it's free money and you can't lose. There's also a $5 crypto reward when you make your first cryptocurrency trade. Join today by clicking the link down below. And we're back. Okay, let's jump right in, folks. You know what I noticed over the past few days? It seems like the media is not reporting on many stories. Nothing of substance anyway, nothing that matters. It just seems to be, oh, well, Russia's doing a war, and Ukraine's a victim, and Zelensky's a badass, and it's just the same stuff. We're not talking about the economy. We're not talking about horrific crimes that have occurred in the past few days. And it makes you wonder, is it all just one big, massive effort? One massive propaganda campaign to keep people distracted? So when I saw this story about gas prices skyrocketing because Putin has declared that he will only accept rubles for gasoline and oil, I knew that this was something very important. So they go on to say here in the story that Russia will continue to supply natural gas to Europe according to its already in place contracts. They say that sanctions have destroyed Moscow's trust. They say the changes will only affect the currency of payment, which will be changed to Russian rubles for a list of countries corresponding to those who have imposed sanctions. So I find this very interesting. It appears that Putin is only punishing countries that specifically betrayed Russia and put sanctions on the country. And it's honestly a brilliant move, because think about it. When America put these massive sanctions on Russia, they absolutely crashed the ruble. They destroyed their currency. It went down like, what, 40%? 60%? Recently it's starting to stabilize as Russia kind of gets its act together. It's going back on the gold standard. It's working with China for payment systems. And now it's forcing the countries that sanctioned it to pay rubles for their gas. Honestly, it's somewhat amusing, because now the countries that were trying to hurt Russia are being forced to help Russia. The story goes on to say that wholesale gas prices in the UK rose following the announcement. Look, I have no idea what the currency is here, but basically the cost of delivery went up 18% and the winter prices rose by 11%. What's really interesting about all this is that it would appear that the petrodollar is crumbling. For many years, America has forced other countries to only use American dollars to buy gasoline and oil. However, it would appear that things are changing now. You already have countries from the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia, saying that they may even accept yuan, a Chinese currency, for when China wants to buy some oil. Normally, China would have had to use US dollars to buy that oil. Now they're saying, you know what? We don't care. You can pay in yuan if you want to pay in yuan. What happens when China stops using dollars, when Russia stops using dollars, and everyone starts paying in other currencies? It will absolutely devastate the American dollar. It will lead to massive hyperinflation as all these countries dump their dollars for foreign currencies. And this is a big danger that could have been avoided had America not vastly overreacted. So, as gas prices are going up, many Democrats are pushing for stimulus checks because, of course, people can't afford gas. Let's just give people more money. Let's print even more dollars. That makes sense. Here on the Daily Mail, you can see Democrats push for $300 a month stimulus checks to help Americans struggling to pay for sky-high gas prices, as a gallon soars past $6 in LA. And 73% of voters say they back tax breaks. Here, the story says, with the price of gas rising across the US, lawmakers are developing a string of proposals to help motorists, from $400 rebates for all taxpayers in California to imposing windfall taxes on oil companies or sliding scale of payments that could net families as much as $300 every month. Man, so that's really stupid, I gotta tell you. Hey, gas prices are too high, I know. We'll tax gas and give the money to Americans because that totally will not make gas companies raise their prices. My gosh, this is why California and basically anywhere run by Democrats just doesn't work. The reason that gas prices are so high in California in the first place is because of taxes on gasoline. If they would take those off, gas would be cheaper. It's not nearly as bad in other states. Here the story says that the average cost of the gallon has raced past $4 a gallon amid domestic inflation and the impact of Vladimir Putin's war in Ukraine. An opinion poll published Wednesday found that almost 3/4 of voters were in favor of a holiday from federal energy taxes to ease the burden. This is why I get so upset when people go on about climate change and green energy, because in reality, all the government really does is tax everything. We're going to tax gasoline. We're going to tax you for driving your car. We're going to tax you for the carbon. And guess what? Is any of it actually going to stop climate change or fix global warming? No. They take your money and they give it to their billionaire friends and themselves. So currently NATO is basically trying to threaten Putin, saying that if he dare uses nuclear or chemical weapons, they will come down and they will crush Russia. You've got other stories saying that Russians are taking massive losses in Ukraine and that Ukraine has massive victories, blah, blah, blah. It's the same story we've been told for the past week. It's just the same thing. Here on Fox News, NATO tells Russia to quit nuclear saber rattling, demands that China stop lies amid chemical attack threats. I'm getting really sick of this narrative that Russia's going to use chemical weapons, because what it really sounds like is that they're trying to make up a justification for NATO and other countries to come in Ukraine and intervene. Putin's not going to use chemical weapons. In fact, I think he would be closer to using nukes than he would be to using chemical weapons. There's simply no need for it. He's got missiles, he's got bombs. He can simply flatten Ukraine to crumble and win. You know, I think I saw in the news on CNN that there was over 3 million refugees from Ukraine. Most people have left. Most people have either left or are in hiding. A chemical weapon is to destroy large populations. What population would he target? It just doesn't make any sense. No. So according to Russia, they've lost 10,000 troops. According to Ukraine, they've lost 40,000 troops. And basically, a lot of information is just hidden behind the fog of war. CNN says the bodies of Russian soldiers are piling up in the Ukraine as the Kremlin conceals the true toll of the war. They don't have anything distinct in here. I definitely believe that it's been harder for Russia to take Ukraine than they may have anticipated. But as I've said before, Russia has always excelled in wars of attrition. I have a very strong feeling that Putin is going to win simply by outlasting the Ukraine. They're too big of a country. So you know what, my friends? I'm honestly sick of this war. I'm sick of the lies. I'm sick of the manipulations. Putin is not messing around, and he's not going to stop. Gas prices are out of control. Everything's falling apart. And it's all because our politicians are literally insane. Biden is going to be responsible for the collapse of the US dollar, for the loss of the petrodollar, and from potentially World War III and nuclear oblivion. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? Let me know by commenting down below in the comment section. As always, support the channel by joining me on Patreon or Subscribestar, as this channel is funded by viewers like you. Anyways, thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoy your day, and I'll see you all next time.